Alright guys, I get asked a lot of questions about these headlights when I post them online or when anybody sees the car, so I thought I'd make a video and show you how it's done. I've offered to make these for people online. This set were for someone who contacted me through Facebook, but if you fancy tackling them yourself, hopefully this video is a bit of help. Some of the shots should be self-explanatory, but I'll dip in and out where I need to, I think, explain a bit better. Once you get the lights stripped down to this point, it's time to stick them in the oven. So you need to be careful, obviously, not sticking them for too long, but I usually do 50 degrees for 5 minutes. Here's a set I made earlier. Now that we've got these back out of the oven, we need to split them open, which is easier said than done, to be honest. So just start working your way around, loosening all the tabs. Now we just need to take off all the silver and chrome surround that we're after, and we'll split it away for this amber piece. And here's what we're left with, guys. 2 sets of the chrome inserts for the lights themselves. Now we're just going to tackle these with some old Scotch-Brite I've got lying about, sandpaper, whatever you want to do. Is we want to key up the surface a wee bit, particularly in these areas. Now the actual output from the lights is done inside the projector, or the housing that's inside this area for the bulb. This area here doesn't affect the light output, so we're going to go ahead and cover it in this instance. But you know, if you feel uneasy about that, then you know, go with caution and just maybe mask these areas up for yourselves. But we're going to go ahead and try and see what it looks like. Just using some gloss black acrylic paint picked up from any decent chain hardware store. We went with acrylic because it's got built-in lacquer, so it should give us a nice finish in 1 or 2 coats without a need for a layer of lacquer on top of that. So I'll go ahead and get these scratched up and get them painted. So once you've got the surfaces scratched on this with the Scotch-Brite or sandpaper, you just want to give them a clean with any decent surface cleaner. I'm using the 3M surface cleaner here, but any other brand of surface cleaner will do fine. So got our parts prepped here in our little makeshift paint booth. I'm going to give this a quick shake and we'll get some coats down. Alright guys, well, we've got them painted up overnight, dried now, using our black gloss acrylic paint. Not a bad job. I'm not a professional painter by any means, so it's not perfect, but you know, you can see how easy a job acrylic makes. You know, it gives it a really glossy finish without the need for multiple stages, which is ideal for us. Just a wee bit here, but you'll not see any of that. So what we'll do now is we'll get our LED rope in here, plot our routes, mark out where we're going to drill, which is probably going to be in this corner here, and the same place on the back side for the full beam, I think, sitting here. Yeah, so that on the inside, basically 2 of them are going to meet in this location. We can get them joined together, feed them out through the casing, make the job as easy as possible. Let's go. Now, I know this will be the main part of the video that everyone's interested to see, so you know, I won't cut as much of this section out, or try and leave as much of it there as possible, so you can try and catch any details that I maybe gloss over, you know, being familiar with the process. Fairly straightforward process depending on which DRLs you use. These ones have got an adhesive strip on the back of them, so it's, you know, makes it quite easy for routing and securing them. They just, you know, once you lay them down, they're pretty secure. Yeah, it's just important to plot your finish point and then trim the DRL to suit you. Obviously you need to cut them in certain positions to make sure the last diode has power. You don't want to trim it in the wrong place and then the last diode is dead. That's, you know, look a bit poor if you do that, so just be careful and plan ahead as much as you can. I'm sure there'll be some electricians watching that, or people more familiar with car electrics, you know, seeing the crude method of joining the cables with the heat shrink sleeve with the solder inside, but it's worked for me so far on a number of jobs, so, you know, I'm pretty happy sticking with it. And like I said, you know, on my car it's, and you know, on my own car it's lasted for a year now without any issues, so yeah, it may not be the fanciest way of joining cables or the most technical, but it's certainly easy and it's been durable so far. One thing I have missed showing in this section with the rubber grommet for the cables to exit the casing. Just put a, you know, some sort of seal, silicone, bitumen seal, whatever you want on the inside of this, just to stop any moisture passing through. Right guys, this is where we're up to just now. We need to wire ourselves some power to the LEDs. So we're going to be using a combination of these waterproof connectors, this fuse tap, and just some cable. Depending on where we... So this is the lights how they sit just now. As you can see, obviously got some protection over there. Slight imperfection there where we've routed it into the casing itself inside, but I mean overall compared to standard, that's, yeah, night and day. So on the back side we have this connection here. So basically what we need to do is run the length of cable, passenger side to the driver's side, connect the two plugs from both lights together and then into one line to the fuse box and one line to ground somewhere. So maybe just time lapse this section, just get stuck into it because, you know, need to get these finished now. Apologies guys, one of my GoPros died there, so I ended up doing a wee bit of work off camera. All I've done is been out to Discovery, measured across from, you know, passenger side to driver's side, or driver's side to passenger side, and left maybe a couple 100mm on the cable itself. So cable's joined to this, the plug we've got here that goes into the driver's side headlight. Run that across. I went with 2 meters, should leave plenty of room for routing cable. Joined those here, I've got my excess over here, and I've just covered it in some of this kind of braided cable protection. I made a bit of a mistake cutting here, so I've had to make a join here in the protection there, but the sleeve, but it'll be okay. All we're going to do now is we need to connect these two together and then into a single line, which will then run to our fuse tap. And so obviously fuse tap from the positive side. I was debating whether having another plug here just to allow us to disconnect, but don't really think there's any need. I'll have a think, but either way we're connecting from here somehow, whether there's a plug or not, and you know, to the fuse box. So I'm running a meter from this point to the fuse box should be plenty for routing cables. Let's go. Right guys, this is the loom we've got. So driver side connector runs across the front of the car, connects in with the passenger side connection headlight connection. From there runs up the side of the car. We have a slight split here. One side we're going to tap into one of the fuses, and this here will just to give them the lights a final test before we send them away. Just to show you how we finished off our loom. Obviously you've seen on the inside we wired this together, plenty of length across the car for when they're fitted. Onto this side, same connections here, 2 into 1, and then this line runs, splits here, gives us ground here in this stud. And this, the live, obviously runs into the fuse box, and found that this fuse here, try and show you, is on the ignition, so not constant live, on and off when the car's on and off. So as you can see just now, off, go in the car. On. I'll try and get the owner to send me some pictures of these fitted so we can see a before and after, but yeah, there's a huge difference over the standard lights for sure. And that's it guys, there's a wee before and after here for you. If you want to see them in a bit, you know, more detail and close up on my own car, then you know there's another video reviewing the Discovery that has plenty of shots of the headlights in it. If you've got any questions of that, just leave them below and I'll try and get back to you.